Welcome to this edition of UCentral News. I'm Lily Myers.
And I'm Tyler Whitehead.
Today, supporters of death row inmate Julius Jones are continuing to rally at the state capitol before he is set to be executed tomorrow. Right now, this is what's happening. The family of Jones is holding a press conference at the Capitol. The UCO student body is holding a rally at the Blue Tent, and people all over the state are protesting at the Capitol.
Jones is convicted in the 1999 shooting death of Edmond businessman Paul Howell. The state pardon and parole board previously recommended twice to commute the sentence to life in prison with the possibility of parole. The decision now lies with Governor Stitt.
And we are actually going to head to a live shot at the Capitol of a press conference that is happening right now.
Yes, let's go ahead and toss it over.
American Commission on Human Rights filed a petition with the federal government on Julius's behalf. And if the governor goes forward, if the state of Oklahoma goes forward with this execution, that is international law, breaking international human rights law. God has spoken. The fact that you all are here, you don't have to care, but you do, because God has moved upon your heart. God has spoken. Governments from around this world don't have to write letters for somebody they don't personally know. God has spoken. There's nothing to pray about. The scripture talks about it, and I've been really holding on to this particular scripture. I think it's Isaiah 40, where it talks about every mountain will be made low, every valley exalted, everything will be made plain, and the people of God, the glory of God, will be that which all of us will stand and see together. The fact that white people and black people and native people, young people and older people, rich people and poor people, Republicans and Democrats, gay folks and straight folks and everybody, that is all of us standing here, seeing the glory of God together.
Amen.
God has been very, very clear. God has used delegate ACLU and represent justice and the NAACP.
And UCentral's Michaela Todd actually visited the Capitol today. Here is what she found.
Today I went to the Capitol. A church group started a protest across the street. It was peaceful and emotional. This morning at the Oklahoma State Capitol, dozens gathered for the justice of Julius Jones. The peaceful protesters started at the Oklahoma History Center, then moved to the Capitol building after a short church service. There was singing, praying, and many signs showing their support. The protesters are still outside Governor Stitt's office as people continued to gather throughout the day. The church volunteers brought free coffee and snacks, along with free Justice for Julius t-shirts and masks. People of all backgrounds came to help aid the Justice for Julius movement. There was a Native American flute playing and worship songs of many different cultures. The Joneses family will hope to have an impact today as well. Julius Jones's family hosted a press conference at the state capitol building later this afternoon at 3:30 p.m. I'm Michaela Todd with UCentral News. This took place outside the governor's office. We understand he wasn't there. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Michaela, for your input. This case has been a highly publicized topic among students at this university. Students are rallying at the Blue Tent here on campus. We're going to toss things over to Shannon Schwal, who's at the Blue Tent right now. Shannon, what do you have for us? And we're gonna toss over to him later. But many Oklahoma City public school students walked out of class today to express their right to protest in the wake of this decision. The students are asking Governor Stitt to commute Jones's execution, which is scheduled for Thursday. And as for a bit of background on state executions, the state of Oklahoma has recently had a difficult transition into reincorporating this type of punishment. The last execution, the death of John Marion Grant, became the subject of debate. Grant's execution was very difficult as he was convulsed and vomited several times before ultimately dying. This was the first state execution in 6 years.
And for a bit of background on the crime and trial of Julius Jones, Jones was convicted and sentenced to death in 1999 for the shooting and death of Edmond businessman Paul Howell. State and country prosecutors have said the evidence against Jones is overwhelming. Witnesses identified Jones as the shooter, and investigators found the murder weapon in an attic space above his bedroom. Jones and his family say he was at home the night of the crime and he was framed by the actual killer.
And UCentral's Brady Gray is live at the state capitol right now, where people have gathered to protest the execution.
Brady, tell us what's happening right now.
Brady Gray here for UCentral, live at the state capitol. Vigil for Julius Jones. That has now become the press conference with him and his family talking to the press and talking to the media about trying to get his sentencing of the death penalty for tomorrow commuted to the possibility of parole tomorrow. That's on Governor Stitt's hand right now at his desk, and we'll see if that goes through later today. Guys, back to you.
And the latest decision from Governor Stitt. As protests are ongoing in the Capitol right now, Governor Stitt is continuing to make a decision whether or not he will spare Jones's life. Officials say the governor has taken time to pray on what his decision will be for tomorrow. Jones is still scheduled to be executed tomorrow at 4.
And people across social media are sharing their thoughts, with many sharing information to get in contact with Governor Stitt. And a lot of major figures like European Union ambassadors and Kim Kardashian are calling on Stitt to grant clemency. Kardashian started a thread on Twitter saying, quote, "My heart breaks for Julius and so many others who have suffered from such tragic miscarriage of justice." Julius Jones is now trending at number 19 on Twitter. Photos and videos are also being shared of students walking out in protest and at the Oklahoma Capitol. And let's check in back. Let's go ahead and toss things over to Shannon at the blue tent right now. Shannon, what is happening right now?
And in a difficult case like this, if you need help or someone to talk to, UCO has the resources for you. UCO is offering support groups, counseling, assessments, and more. For more information, you can reach out to the Center for Counseling and Wellbeing to schedule your appointment.
And looking now at COVID-19 on campus, UCO is currently reporting 25 active cases. UCO says just over 1,200 people in the UCO community have recovered from the virus. UCO has seen just over 1,200 total cases since last August.
And the State Department of Health is reporting 968 new cases across Oklahoma today. Right now, we have over 7,200 active cases in the state. 394 Oklahomans are hospitalized with the virus. 134 are in the ICU.
And Oklahoma is among 12 state attorney generals filing a federal lawsuit over the Biden administration's COVID-19 vaccine mandates for healthcare workers. Attorney General John O'Connor said Tuesday that Oklahoma has a shortage of nurses as it was, and the mandate would worsen the situation. O'Connor previously joined more than a dozen other states in a November 4th lawsuit that challenged a COVID-19 vaccination or testing requirement at all private employers of 100 workers or more. And now we're going to take one last look at our crew at the Capitol. Brady, what do you have for us?
Several high schools throughout the metro have also gathered with students walking out of class to protest. Places like John Marshall, PC West, PC North, and others have all said that they're going to be doing walkouts like that. So, other than that, back to you guys.
Thanks, Brady and Lily. It's been a pretty chilly and gloomy day here on campus. That wind has definitely gotten a lot chillier outside.
Yes, that wind has made for a very horrible walk around campus today, but we will have more with Patrick when we return from this.
you're safe and make others feel hurt,
Such a weirdo.
excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out?
Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Many student organizations held booths in the night today. UCentral's Shannon Chua talked to them about involvement.
The campus is getting busier and busier with events happening all around, including in the NI, with booths from Central Pantry, Winter Glow, and the Center for Counseling and Wellbeing set up for students to meet and talk to.
So this is our booth today is for the Central Pantry, and this week is the 9th anniversary of the Central Pantry being founded here on UCO's campus. And so we use the birthday week each year just to kind of highlight the Central Pantry, help it stand out a little bit, make sure students know that it is available as a resource on campus, and give away some fun stuff that we have in the pantry to kind of show what we have there. So since it's birthday themed, we're giving away cake and pie filling and sweets and things like that.
So Winter Glow is a winter carnival that is hosted by UCO. It is open to the Edmond community. It's basically a great time for kids to come out to celebrate the holidays with crafts, bouncy houses, reading rooms, and face painting. So we're just looking for volunteers to sign up to help us put on this show.
This week is Central Pantry birthday week, and that's why we're giving out free foods for you. Come and get one. Any questions or any resources, any needing help or wanting to have conversations about food and security, come and join us.
From Edmond, Oklahoma, I'm Shannon Chua, UCentral News.
Thank you, Shannon.
And the Oklahoma State Department of Education announced yesterday that it's investing approximately $5 million in federal relief funding to build a math tutoring corps. The high dosage tutoring initiative will help close pandemic-related gaps in math learning and algebra readiness for up to 1,500 Oklahoma 7th through 9th grade students a year. This comes after the pandemic greatly affected test scores across the state. And with that weather going on today, we're going to toss things over with Patrick to give us a full look at weather. Patrick, what do you have for us?
That's right, Edmond. That's right, Oklahoma. A windy day across the state with several counties and several cities seeing wind advisories throughout the day. That should calm down by tomorrow. We could see some stronger winds tonight. But as we take a look at current conditions around the state, you got 51 degrees is your temperature in Guymon, Oklahoma. Got 54 here in Woodward and in Enid. 58 up there in Ponca City, as well as 58 down here in the Edmond, Oklahoma City metro area. Like I mentioned a few minutes ago, 53 degrees in the Tulsa metro area, 63 down in McAllister. You're going to see 60s down in that southern part of the state with 77 down in Idabel. So a cool day across the top, and then you got a warmer day down the south part of the state with 77 again in Idabel. So Idabel's got a very warm day going on right now. As we take a look at tonight, 35 degrees is your expected temperature. We could see some wind chills dropping us below that with the feels like temperature expected to be around 30 degrees tonight. North winds about 8 to 17 miles per hour. You could see some strong gusts getting up to about low 20s, 86% humidity, no chance of rain. That wind should calm down by the time you all wake up and get going to work and or school tomorrow. As we take a look at tonight across the state, same case pretty much. You got 21 in Guymon, 27 in Woodward, 29 in Enid, 30 in Ponca City, and as I just mentioned, 35 degrees is your low here in the Edmond, Oklahoma City metro area. Got 38 degrees in Tulsa, and then in that southeastern part of the state, McAllister and Idabel, 40 degrees and 45 respectively. As we take a look at tomorrow, 54 degrees up in the northwestern part of the state with Guyman, Woodward, and Enid. All those expected highs, as well as the Edmond, Oklahoma City metro areas, expected high to be 54 degrees, as well as Tulsa. And you see the southern part of the state, Altus and Lawton have 57 degrees as their expected high. You got 58 degrees in Ardmore and in Idabel. Then you got 55 degrees in McAllister. Taking a look at the northeastern part, you got 51 degrees in Miami, Oklahoma. As we take a look at the hourly forecast for tomorrow, it's going to be pretty cold when you wake up and you're headed into work and or school. So grab a jacket, dress warm, don't stay out in the cold too long. 52 degrees is your expected temperature right around noon, so it'll be much warmer than it was when you wake up, but still pretty cool for the day. 45 degrees after that sun starts to set at 7 p.m., so it'll be chilly at night. As we take a look at the 7-day forecast for the Edmond, Oklahoma City metro area, 61 was your high today, 35 degrees is your low tonight, as I mentioned a minute ago. Thursday, you got 54 degrees as your high, as I mentioned a minute ago. 35 is going to be your low, so you got a cold couple nights ahead of us. Friday, 57 degrees and partly cloudy skies. 44 is your low, so with high school football playoffs going on, if you're going outside and you're going to some of those games, bring a sweatshirt, bring a blanket, just in case you start to get a little cold. 67 degrees on Saturday, 48 is your low on Saturday, 62 on Sunday, partly cloudy skies, 45 is your low on Sunday night. Monday, you got partly cloudy skies, 54 as your high, 35 as your low, so that cold weather starts to creep back in. Tuesday, 60 degrees and partly cloudy skies. We'll recap this here in a little bit, but for now, let's toss it back to the desk.
Thanks, Patrick. And in social media, if you're trying to fix your iPhone, you can buy materials to fix it. More information on that after this.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt,
Such a weirdo.
excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out?
Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back to UCentral News. I'm Tyler Whitehead, and here is your social media update. Rapper Young Dolphin was shot and killed today in Memphis, Tennessee. People across social media are claiming the 36-year-old was shopping for cookies when the shooting took place. Many fans are sharing their love and appreciation of the artist by sharing their favorite songs. And do you have problems with your Apple products? The company plans to give consumers the ability to repair their own devices in a new program that will make spare parts available for purchase. They plan to roll out displays, batteries, and camera modules when they launch. However, it will only be available for iPhone 12 and 13 users, but they plan to expand to other products later. And speaking of unfriending people, like I said in a story earlier, the frenemies of Joe Exotic and the Tiger King himself had their newest episodes released today. In season 2, they will uncover all the controversies that were presented in the first season. Before the release, Carol Baskin is trying to sue Netflix in order to prevent people from seeking interviews and footage featuring her. You can stream the series exclusively on Netflix. And if you remember on social media a couple years ago, a text to a wrong number turned into a Thanksgiving tradition that is still continuing this year. The incident took place in 2016 when Wanda Dench accidentally sent a text to Jamal Hinton inviting him to her Thanksgiving dinner. Hinton has come every year and now is planning for year 6 with the family. The story has garnered a lot of social media attention with people sharing their photos every year. Well, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media so you don't miss out on anything UCentral News. Give us a follow on Twitter at UCentral Media and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/UCentral. Hope you all have a great day. Lily, what do we have coming up?
Thanks, Tyler. And after this, Jackson has your UCO sports update. Stay tuned.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
In the land of wonder and awe, you won't believe you see what you saw. Where there's something to do for young and for old, where stories are written and then they're retold. Visit travelok.com today. Come see for yourself and come out to play.
Welcome back, Bronco fans. I'm Jackson Rowbottom, and this is your sports update. The Lady Bronco volleyball team's season came to an end last night as they fell to Nebraska Kearney in the MIAA tournament. UNK ranked number 12 nationally coming into the game, and they came to play last night. UCO was shut out last night, suffering 3 losses last night with no sets won for the evening. UCO volleyball finishes the season at 19-10 with sights set for improving their record next season. UCO women's basketball suffered their first loss of the season as well as they fell to Southern Nazarene. The Lady Broncos didn't put their best game on display in their 53-69 loss to the SNU Storm, which brings them to 2 wins and 1 loss on the season. Their next chance to get back on the winning track will be tomorrow against Arkansas Fort Smith. Then on the men's side of UCO basketball, your Broncos will be taking the court again tonight in a contest against Jarvis Christian University. UCO is coming into the game feeling strong as they have been able to amass 2 wins in their first 2 games of the season. The opposition will be looking to challenge UCO's strong start with an upset against the favored Broncos. A tall order for the Jarvis Christian Bulldogs. That game begins at 7 p.m. at the Hamilton Fieldhouse here in Edmond. That's all I have for you today, guys. For more stats, updates, and information, visit broncosports.com. I'm Jackson Rowbottom, UCentral Sports. Back to Lily and Tyler at the desk.
Thanks, Jackson, and we'll come back to Patrick with your full weather update. Stay tuned.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out?
Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
And before we get our last look at weather, we are actually going to throw it back to Brady at the Capitol for one last update. Brady, what do you have for us?
Brady Gray live here again for UCentral News in the state capitol, just outside Governor Stitt's office at the vigil for Julius Jones. The press conference with Jones' family just wrapped up, with his mother and others saying that they feel unheard, not only by Governor Stitt, but by the state of Oklahoma. They believe that Stitt should take the advice of the Oklahoma pardon and parole board, who voted 3-1 to commute Jones' sentence for the death penalty tomorrow to life with the possibility of parole. Before the press conference, however, there was a more than peaceful protest among people here at the vigil. There was much praying and much singing and chanting outside the doors. People praying not only for Julius Jones and his family, but also praying for Governor Stitt as the decision looms with the execution date set tomorrow. Other forms of protests I know of throughout the metro, several other high schools have mentioned that they will be hosting student walkouts, with several school administrators saying that they stand with their students' ability for free speech, and others saying that there is a protest going on outside the Capitol right now where people chanting social offenses in solidarity. That's all I have here. We'll have more coverage as the story moves on, guys.
Thanks, Brady. And now we're going to toss things over to Patrick with your last look at weather.
Thanks, Tyler and Lily, and that's right. It has been a very windy day today, seeing some gusts in the mid to upper 20s. Much of the counties, as I mentioned earlier, in Oklahoma have seen wind advisories. But as we take a look at the 7-day forecast for the rest of the week, you got Wednesday, your high today was 61 degrees, 35 is going to be your low tonight. Again, as I mentioned a little bit ago, that wind chill will make it feel like it's about 30 degrees, so it'll feel below freezing, even though we're actually not below freezing. As we take a look at tomorrow, sunny skies, 54 degrees is your high, 35 is your low. So another cold night tomorrow night. As we take a look at Friday, headed into the weekend, 57 degrees is your high, as 44 is your low on Friday night. Again, we got some high school football playoff games going on, so if you're going out to see some of those, bring a sweatshirt, bring a blanket, just in case you get cold. Saturday and Sunday going to be a relatively warmer weekend, 67 degrees, 48 is your low. Saturday should be a pleasant day if you're down in Norman, at the OU game early on in the morning. Sunday, you take a look at the partly cloudy skies as well as 62 degrees and 45 is your low Sunday night. Monday, you got 54 degrees and 35 is your low. Tuesday, 60 degrees is your high. Early models are indicating that Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be relatively similar, but we could have a cold Thanksgiving, but I'll let MC cover that tomorrow when she comes in. For now, back to the desk.
Have a good night, Edmond.